All right, Baruch Hashem, we are on letter number 22 of 30 Letters in 30 Days. We're going to start our learning with some tzedakah. Remember, we're preparing for Yud Aleph Nisan through Torah study. That's by learning the letters, and through acts of tzedakah. I'm going to use the Koil Chabad Pushka app. Oh, it's shaking already. Koil Chabad Pushka app. Okay. The link for the Koil Chabad Pushka app is down below in the YouTube description. Also, the link to reserve for the event. Yeah, I'll repeat that. Last night, I made a very joyful announcement. By the way, I made a bracha earlier, L'chaim. I made a very joyful announcement last night that Baruch Hashem, we're going to have a live in-person event for the 30th letter. It's a women's shir at the oil, or more accurately, half a block from the oil, at the new SoulWords house, which Baruch Hashem, after a long time, many months of renovation, it is, God willing, opening. So the link is below. Please, please, please RSVP. It's RSVP only. Space is extremely limited. Okay, let's get into tonight's letter. And I apologize for the PDF. I think I've mentioned before that a few days before, 30 days before Yud Aleph Nisan, I wasn't really even sure. I was sure we were not going to be able to do 30 letters in 30 days because I just didn't have the team together to do it. And a friend of mine, Rabbi Shais Taub from West Bloomfield, Michigan, said, if you're in it, I'm in it. So we did it. And then we got a couple more guys to help out. And so somehow we're doing it, but we're doing our best over here. There's lots of, I'm not going to use the PDF tonight because there were just so many errors in it. I'm going to read from the actual facsimile of the page from Igros. I'm telling you that because in case you see me reading it differently, it's because I'm not reading the typos. Okay, hope you appreciate that. Unless you really like the typos. There's nothing special about them. But I guess everything's hashgacha pratis. Okay. Baruch Hashem, Aleph Nisan Tavshin Tetzvav, Brooklyn, Havasa v'chosid Ishir Elikim, Nechman v'noim, Oisik b'tarchi tzibur, Mereno Rav, Moshe Shiechya HaKoin, Shalom Avracha. This is a letter from Rosh Chodesh Nisan to Moshe HaKoin, I think the last name is Shaikovich. Greetings and blessings. Masha hinni kabbalas hashuris shalai gam kais bom kaisav oidis oidaisai va'oidais zugasei tichya. I'm acknowledging receipt of the few lines that you wrote, meaning the letter in which you write about yourself and about your wife. May she be well. Vazkirim be'es ratzin alatina kaddish shel kaved kudus meir v'chami admor zeichet tzadeh v'kaddish levrocha chayim l'chayu ilam haba nishmas se begin ze mereimim zechus hayagan aleinu l'mitztarich lehem begashmis v'ruchnias. I will mention them, meaning you and your wife, at a propitious time at the holy resting place of my father-in-law the Rebbe, for all that you need materially and spiritually. Trumase nidvas libai. All right, your generous donation. I don't know what a generous donation means. In this case, I don't know if this person sent a lot of money, a little money. The person sent money. Sent money, and as apparent from the context of the money was not earmarked for any particular cause. He just sent a donation to the Rebbe. Okay, so the Rebbe says, your generous donation. Kevin Shabbat Yamish Lefnei Pesach. Since it arrived in the days before Pesach, it was allocated to a timely cause. The Rebbe uses both expressions. Kimcha de Pischa is an Aramaic expression, which literally means Pesach flour, meaning the flour to make matzahs. And Moeschitten means money or coins for wheat. It's interesting that Rebbe mentions, why does it say chitim, wheat? Wheat is a specific species of grain. And not in this letter, but there's a sikha where the Rebbe talks about how really you could make matzah out of any of the chameshes mina dogen, out of any of the 5 types of grain. And you know what those are? Remember the mnemonic browse. It's like when you're taking challah also, you have to remember this mnemonic. Barley, rye, oats, wheat, spelt. Okay. Wheat is considered the nicest of these 5, most prominent, the classiest. So the Rebbe mentions that, and this is in line with the content of this letter, that if you want to skimp and you want to save and you want to be frugal with your own mitzvah, okay, I guess that's your prerogative. So you don't want to use the wheat. You can find something cheaper. By the way, it's ironic because the oat is like twice as much. But if you want to use less quality for yourself, okay, go ahead. But when it comes to the money that you're donating for other people's Pesach needs, that's what Moschiten is for. What's this money for Pesach? The money for Pesach is money you're donating to provide for other people's Yom Tov needs. So for that, it has to be Moschiten dafka. It has to be wheat money. Don't give them rye money, barley money. Give them wheat money. Good stuff. Okay. And this is very in line with the message of this letter here, which we're going to read, where the Rebbe is extolling the great virtue of giving money to funds which support the less fortunate to have their Pesach needs met. Now, it is known, the saying of the Baal Shem Tov, I heard this saying of the Baal Shem Tov many times from my father-in-law, the Rebbe. Everything that you see, hear, everything you know about, anything that's on your radar screen, you must learn from it a teaching of how to serve Hashem, because that is the whole purpose of man, is to serve Hashem. Like it says in the end of Kiddushin, I was only created to serve my Maker. Okay, so that's the saying of the Baal Shem Tov that the Rebbe heard many times from the Frierdiker Rebbe, which is, again, everything, even things that seem irrelevant, they seem trivial. No such thing. You must think about it and learn an instruction in how to serve Hashem from everything. Now, here's, I think, the Rebbe's Chiddush. I think. V'kol sheken v'kava chaymer sheyesh lilmed es zeh minyonei Torah mitzvahs. If it's true, the Baal Shem Tov says, you have to learn an instruction how to serve Hashem from anything that you know about, how much more so a matter of Torah mitzvahs itself. Now, you could say, Torah mitzvahs itself is already serving Hashem. Yeah, but there are levels. And the Rebbe says, from something that is a matter of serving Hashem, you can learn from that even more levels of how to serve Hashem. And in this case, the Rebbe is going to talk about the teaching that we can glean from the idea of Moschiten. Yeah, you can say Moschiten, yeah, you're giving money for people to have what to eat and how to celebrate Yom Tov. That's the inyan. Yeah, but of course, and Hamaiso Hu'ikar, the bottom line is to give the money to other people so that they have the ability to make a nice Yom Tov. But the Rebbe is going to now unpack it and highlight an even deeper level of appreciation that we can have for this mitzvah. All right. Now, in our case, we're talking about a holy custom of the Jewish people, which has the status of Torah, and it's also brought in the writings of the Rishonim, Shelifnei Pesach, Goivin Kimcha de Pesach, that before Pesach and the days leading up to Pesach, we collect, meaning people go around and collect Kimcha de Pesach, which I said before is Aramaic for Pesach flour. Now, do they go around collecting literal flour? Maybe historically at some point they did, but today that's why there's also the other term Moschiten, which means money or coins for wheat. And it's not just for the wheat or the flour or the matzah. It's really, and the Rebbe spoke about this many times, Kol Tzorchei Achag, all of the needs of Yom Tov. Not just the matzah, and not just matzah and the wine, but food and fish and flesh and everything that they need. Okay, and clothes and everything. Okay. Hainu Ezer La'aninim. That is to say, assisting the needy. All right. V'zeu gam ken ha'akdama lahaseder. Chanusach ha'agad shemascho be'inyin kol dichven yesef v'yechol. And also, if you look in the Haggadah, when we begin the Seder, we say the words called Dichven Yesav Yechol, which means all who are hungry come and eat, which is similar to this concept of Moschitten, of providing for the needs of the less fortunate. Okay, so the Seder also begins with an announcement that we're giving. We're giving a place at our Seder to those who need. All right. Here's where the Rebbe unpacks it on an even deeper level. There's a special teaching and a special emphasis here. Asher kol Yisrael revim zeh b'zeh, hein b'inyanim gashmin, hein b'inyanim ruchnin. All Jewish people. Now it's interesting. You could translate this two different ways. Literal way is revim zeh b'zeh, guarantors for one another, for each other, like someone who co-signs a loan, let's say, physically and spiritually. Also, revim zeh b'zeh can literally mean mixed with each other. So it has a double meaning. We are inextricably bound up with each other, materially and spiritually. Okay? So it's not possible for one person to express his freedom on Pesach and conduct himself as a free person on Pesach. Which, JFYI, this time, the time of this whole season of Pesach is called the time of our freedom, and especially the night of the Seder is a time of freedom. We're supposed to do many things, b'derech cherus, to express our freedom, but it's not possible to tap into your own freedom. Ki im kasher oisa kol ma sheyacholte shegam chaverei haYisrael yeh ben chayrin, unless you've done everything within your ability to make sure that your fellow Jew is also free. And what does it mean that he's free? That he's free from worry, that he's worried. How is he going to pay for all the things he needs for Yom Tov? It's very expensive. So your friend down the block, maybe he's not your friend, maybe you don't even know his name, you may never met him, but it doesn't matter. Jewish people are all intertwined. So there's another Yid who's worried, how is he going to make Yom Tov? How can you be free until he is free from his worry? And the Rebbe is saying the answer is you can't. You can't. And that's why we have to deal with this first. That's why this gets first priority. You could say, well, it's a practical thing. Of course, we collect Moschitten before Pesach, because if you don't do it before Pesach, you don't have time to collect the money, to distribute the money. By the way, there's the collecting the money and there's the distributing the money. And Shimshon Stock, Olav Shalom, there's a video of him going around where he's talking about that he makes two announcements. One announcement is we're collecting. The other announcement is we're distributing. And if you know anyone who needs, let us know. So there's the collecting and the distributing. It all takes time, right? So obviously all this has to happen before Pesach. But the Rebbe, from a practical standpoint, yeah, obviously. But the Rebbe goes in deeper and says, there's a hira here. There's a deeper teaching, which is, it's not just a practical thing that first you collect and distribute the money and then you have Pesach. There's also a teaching here about prioritization. That top priority is first take care of someone else, and then you're in a place where you can start to connect to your own freedom. This is what the Rebbe says right here. Va'adarabba. To the contrary, not only can you not be free until your friend is free of worry about how he's going to pay for Yom Tov. Va'adarabba, to the contrary, you have to put him first. You have to worry about his freedom before you get started pursuing your freedom. That's why the whole lead up, the whole preface to the season of freedom, it's collecting and distributing funds for the poor. And specifically, we start the Seder with the announcement of all who are hungry, come and eat. Okay, so it's not just a practical thing. First, we collect and distribute the money, and then we have Yom Tov, but it's also a spiritual teaching here that the way, the path, the only method to connecting to your own cherus is to first see to it that you've done everything within your ability to ensure the freedom from worry of another Jew who on his own would not be able to make ends meet for the Yom Tov. Now the Rebbe goes a deeper level. We can learn a lesson about the soul and the body. Asher efshar shetia neshama bas chayden, the soul can't be free, which means Aved Lashem v'lei avdei pare, a servant of God, not a servant of pare. Because freedom doesn't mean being ownerless, doesn't mean being hefker. Freedom means you're not a servant of pare, it means you are a servant of Hashem. So the soul cannot begin to be free, which means a servant of Hashem, unless it frees the body. The soul might think, I can go do my own thing. In fact, if I can get rid of this body, noch besser, right? No. The soul is inextricably linked up with the body. The soul cannot pursue its spiritual freedom until it takes care of the body. We're gonna read. The body needs to also become Hashem's servant, not Pare's servant. Now this is another teaching of the Baal Shem Tov. This is our second teaching of the Baal Shem Tov in the short little letter. Hayadua, his known teaching, that and this is based on a posuk. Kisira chamer senacha, when you see the donkey of your enemy. So how does the Rebbe, or how does the Baal Shem Tov read this? When you see kisira chamer, when you see the donkey, don't read chamer, read chaymer, the physicality, materiality. You look at your own materiality, meaning your body. Tira, you're going to see, Sainacha, he's your enemy. Your body's your enemy. The soul is yearning for spirituality and for godliness. And the body is interrupting that, distracting you from that, saying, let's go out for ice cream. Body, go away, stop bothering me. We're trying to learn, we're trying to daven. Right? You get upset. So you say, the body's my enemy. I'd rather get rid of it. If we could just take it away, life would be so much better. So it's yearning for Elokus and Ruchnias. Now you see the body's crouching under its burden. It's weighted down under the load. The load that Hashem has put upon the body. That Hashem gave the body a certain burden in order to refine it with Torah mitzvahs. But the body is crouching under the load. The body is lazy to do it. It may rise up in your heart, meaning it may occur to you. You should refrain from helping him. Good, let him break. Let him fall apart. Then we'll get rid of the guy. That's what you might think. Then I'll be free to do my shlichus. It'll be beautiful. No. That you think that you're going to start to mortify your body, to break the materiality. But that is not the method where the light of Torah will be able to dwell, but rather, aziv tazivima, you must help him, must help the body. You have to refine him. You have to polish him up, not break him with punishments, with mortification. So this is similar to the idea of moaschitten on an even deeper level. One yid cannot be free until every other yid is free, or at least you've done everything within your ability to help every yid to be free from worry, to be able to have Yom Tov. And until to the extent where you have to put that first, not just chronologically, but in terms of prioritization. And similarly, the soul cannot be free until the body is free. What does that mean? That the body becomes an Eved Hashem. That instead of the soul is the Eved Hashem and the body is an Eved Lepare, and you just try to avoid it or sidestep it or even get into a fight with it. No. The neshama is an Eved Hashem, but also the body is an Eved Hashem. That we train the body to gravitate toward Torah mitzvahs. And only when that happens, is the soul truly free as well. Deep stuff here, all based on the concept of moaschitten. Bivrach lechag Pesach kosher v'sameach, with a blessing for a Kosher and happy Passover. Rebbe's holy signature. Okay, Gewaldic. We'll see you tomorrow night.